Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Above the Bar podcast, a show about a middle-aged father, current events, and how these things affect my everyday life. Alrighty, folks, welcome to another episode of the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've got another special show tonight. As we've been talking about, it's coming up any day now here. What are we at? About I think we're at 5 and a wake up, 6 and a wake up here. And we will be live starting off at the Waterville Dome at the cage. Many people enter, few people leave. We'll start off there. Then we're headed over to the Desmond, which looks like its own little city for the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame inaugural inductions. I've got goose pimples right now as I say it. And with us today, the instrumental people. Well, one of them's instrumental. The other one just plays an instrument. We've got with us absolutely, positively, we have Mr. Foxx Vinyer, who's been here many times.
Me.
But even more important, El Presidente.
Also, Foxx Vinyer.
The leader of the pack on this. Mr. He's going to bring you to school because he's schooling them all. Your principal, the leader in this wolf pack, Mr. Seth Turner. Gentlemen, welcome to the bar again.
Welcome. I am welcome.
Let me come right out. I need to say thank you, and I want to do it publicly. We're having a live wrestling show at the Waterville Dome on Friday the 27th, put on by New York Championship Wrestling. Big shout out to those guys. But Foxx Vinyer was the man who came through. He refused to let something go down. He did not give up. He and I haven't even had an opportunity to speak. But about a little over a week ago, that man went to work and made sure that there was going to be live professional wrestling in the Capital District next Friday as part of our induction. So, Foxx, thank you. Thank you on behalf of everybody who will be in town for the induction ceremonies. We owe you a big round of applause. Thank you, my man.
No, just thank you for still being badass enough to be like, you know what, let's make this happen still and letting it happen.
Well, what would an event like this be like without, somebody's got to get body slammed. Someone's got to get a big leg dropped on them. Like, that's a requirement for an event like this. And I'm not talking about it at the Black Bear around the corner from there either.
I think you're going to see a little bit of something for everyone. It's professional wrestling. I mean, you should have a whole range of emotions you go through as a result.
Now, I want to get into that piece to it because that's important. Because Foxx, we'll talk about this for a minute. Foxx went from part of a Royal Rumble type event that was going to be kind of the capping that off, to you've got a one-on-one title shot coming up.
Yeah, and it's because it's where I'm supposed to be, because I feel like gaining a little bit of weight, and that championship on Johnny Moran is about 15 pounds, and it is going to be bulk season soon, so might as well start now.
But Sean, let's bring it back to the Above the Bar podcast. How does this come into play? Because, guys, I was on here, 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know. Yeah. I never met you guys. We're just talking. And you had an interest because I know your man, Ronnie Gargan, was going to be coming into town. And so you had some interest in what we were doing. And I got to meet Foxx a little bit at that point. Who would have thought that he would, a few weeks later be so instrumental in making sure that a live pro wrestling event would be held? And what I'm referring to, for those who don't know, is one event got canceled, and some of us were surprised, as you were referring to. There was one event being planned, and within 24 hours, we had a replacement, and some might contend we might be doing it better. Yeah, but it's unreal what took place. Leading into that live pro wrestling event, Water Elite Dome,
Yes.
August 27th, New York Championship Wrestling. Don't miss it. To benefit the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
There it is, folks. You look it up. New York Championship Wrestling. I think tickets are definitely still available.
Yes.
We'll post it on the show page. I know the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame page has it. We'll roll there.
I have tickets if you don't use the internet a lot and you actually want a physical ticket, I will deliver that to you and you can pay
in a 26-foot box truck. He will come to your home, bring those tickets to you. And ladies, for an extra $5, Foxx will do it without his shirt on. For an extra $10, he will keep it on.
Yes, exactly. Maybe 20, and I'll wear a bodysuit.
If we can look, hold on. If we can get you in like a $20, get you in a gimp suit. Is that it? $20?
I don't know about a gimp suit. I do have.
All right, guys. So anyway, it's just intriguing how your podcast came back to play an instrumental role in making the event come back together. So, now we've got Friday Night Live Pro Wrestling. You've got Bill Apter doing an after-hours party starting at 11 p.m. back at the Desmond Hotel. Then we kick off our convention Saturday, August 28th at 10 a.m. for VIP access, and then 11 a.m. general public come out to the convention. That's a free-for-all. It'll be pandemonium at the Desmond. You can get autographed pictures. You can maybe somebody selling books. There'll be artifacts for sale, etc. Raffle tickets, podcast maybe going on live there in the room. Who knows? Again, pandemonium.
An event, an inaugural event. So it's going to be huge. Like, where can you say? How many times can you say I was part of the first?
That's right.
International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame weekend.
Well, that in and of itself is a big thing, and we've got a lot of. So just talking about it, you mentioned it. Former guest on the show, Dave Dwiddell, will be there. Pro wrestling.
He's going to be selling a book that you rarely can get an opportunity to find and get autographed about the life of a professional wrestling referee. What an intriguing perspective.
Yeah.
He's got a great story. I don't know if you caught that one or not, Foxx. Just love the fact that he just was like, I could do that. I'm just going to go do that. And people were like, you're not going to do that. I'm going to go do that.
Let him do
it. He just went and did it.
Let him do
it. And they almost chased him away. And they were like, you got to read the book, though, to find out everything.
Well, you know what's great, too, is a personal friend of mine and from the Capital District, Rita Marie Chatterton, first female referee, who has not done a public appearance since the early 1990s. And so I reached out to her. We're recognizing her with the Trailblazer Award, which she so aptly deserves. Because, you got to go back. This was 1982, 1983 in the WWF. It was a very different era. And so Rita deserves the recognition that we're going to be able to give to her. So I'm proud to be part of that.
Well, and we talked about this on the show. One of the more important things to me is we got to redo the picture with Dave and Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. There's that picture where Hands of Stone was about to put him on him. So we got to redo that picture. Now I want to stay for a moment because Foxx is getting ready. He's got a couple things to do and he's joining us tonight.
Gonna be hanging, banging, to go hitting the training hard, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a championship title match, and I'm trying to do the best that I can to win. And I got to get ready because Mr. Dingling is giving away free ice cream for people, so I got to be eating that too.
And for those of you not from the Capital District, Mr. Dingling is not as dirty as it sounds. It's actually ice cream, and that's all it is.
It's ice cream truck.
It's an ice cream truck. It's not as bad as it sounds.
From April in the rain till I think I saw it in October one time. I said, "What are you doing?"
They was slinging ding-a-ling.
Yeah. You want that Choco Taco? We have it.
But folks, you got to come see Foxx as he's wrestling on Friday, August 27th at the Water Elite Dome. We're going to have the Rock and Roll Express there. We're going to have Bushwhacker Luke coming to town. And who knows? Who knows who else might be popping in? Rachel Ellering is there. I heard his dad. Her dad might be around. Who knows?
Now, who's her dad? Who's her dad?
Oh, a gentleman named Precious Paul Ellering, who was the manager.
You might have heard of him.
Legion of Doom, Road Warriors.
I do know that name, Precious Paul.
Is he bringing? Is he bringing Rocco?
I can't speak to. Look, he's not. All we know is he's in town. You never know what's going to be happening. It's going to be craziness all over the place. But you got to be there. You got to be part of it. You can't sit. It won't come to your couch. It won't happen if you're sitting at home. I promise you that. Go out and do.
And if you go, actually not if, when you go to the show, and if you happen to be a Waterville Elite resident or like know who I am locally, you are all invited to walk me down as my posse to the ring for this big fight that I'm about to have. What? So walk me down, buy some confetti, and then we can all celebrate your new New York Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Fireworks in here for you.
Now, tell me a little bit about for a moment, because we got to get into the international side, but I definitely want to get this from you, Fox. Who else is on that card? Anybody else on that card that day that we should know and be prepared for? Any tag team belts? I came up in the era where if you went to a show, you had a couple of dark matches. They might have been, I guess, can you still call it midget wrestling? I don't want anybody to lose their cool on me or nothing like that, but we would watch dark matches and stuff like that. Anything else we can look forward to? Any of those things?
Well, I mean, just announced 2 hours ago, we have an ECW legend,
ECW
versus High Voltage Omar.
Who is it from ECW? Say it again.
HC Loke.
HC Loke. And then we also have Rachel Ellering versus Riley Shepard. We have the Madness of Trip versus, I might say this wrong, Myung Jae Lee. It looks like it's going to be a battle right there. Of course, you have the TIW, which is a promotion in Massachusetts, has their heavyweight championship to bring all of it together with how big this weekend's going to be. You have Jimmy Limits versus Justin Case. And, of course, the Rock and Roll Express will be in action against
So they're wrestling.
Dads.
They're wrestling.
Oh,
they're bringing it.
No, they are.
The original Rock and Roll Express is bringing
I saw them. I watched them wrestle live last week, and I'm telling you, the boys can go.
Still got it.
They're crazy for being 63-something years old.
Do not turn your head for 1 second. I looked away. I was watching them in Poughkeepsie. I looked away for a second. Ricky Morton completed a maneuver. I believe it was a Canadian destroyer. The thing is, it was so fast, I'm not exactly sure that's technically what it was. I would have to go back and watch in slow motion.
He does that.
All I know is it was so fast, I got whiplash from this gentleman who shouldn't be doing what he's doing. So get out there and see the Rock and Roll Express.
And in case you don't know what the Canadian Destroyer is, that's a pile driver, but you're front flipping into a pile driver.
Yes.
60-some years old.
Yep.
I wake up and my back hurts because I slept wrong. 60-some years old.
And that's why you're not doing Canadian Destroyers.
That's among other reasons.
And why you're not in action.
Yeah, a 360 front flip into a pile driver. That's a Canadian Destroyer.
at 60-some years old. Yep. If you think you got game like that, come on there, folks. Again,
so Bushwhacker Luke is going to be around, and I'm telling you, you don't know who else might show up because I'm going to have with me my posse. I'll have JJ Dillon. Who knows? Can I get him over to the show? The beautiful Sunny of the Body Donnas. I mean, whoa, drop dead gorgeous. Will she show up?
The most downloaded woman in the 90s on AOL.
Sunny.
The most downloaded female. That is correct.
It's funny that sidebar to all this. I bet you it wasn't 2 months ago that just randomly crossed my mind about her. And I was like, where is she now? Well, now we know she's going to be in Albany and in Waterville Elite.
That's exactly right. But the truth is, because I really don't know, Virgil is coming to town. I don't know what time will he show up. Will he show up and want to head over there? It's possible. I don't know. I can't speak to it.
Virgil, I met him at a show up about 3 hours from here in Messina, New York. He was hilarious. He was so cool to me anyway. But if he's there, y'all should meet him. Hang out. Don't let that picture of him by himself fool you. People love Virgil. We love him. He's awesome.
That's right. He plays that whole thing up. So, and then what we're doing this year as well, which is totally unique, is integrating video technologies to help enhance what we're doing. So we just had shown, for those who are members of our Facebook community group, Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, doing a trek to go deliver the Hall of Fame ring to Terry Funk. We were hoping Terry could join us, but now I've got video in the can of that presentation, and Manny is driving from Texas to Albany to deliver that induction speech and to tell the story of Terry Funk and the story of what delivering that ring meant to him. So I put that up on Facebook just to share and give people a little bit of interest. But I want you to consider that what we went through to get a ring which was created in Calgary, shipped to me in New York, overnighted to Texas, driven 5 hours across Texas over to Arlington. Then from there, Manny's driving up to New York to join us in time to have one hell of a party. So how's that for a story?
Sounds like amazing.
And for those of you that have not seen this picture of Terry Funk getting that ring, if it doesn't give you chills, if it doesn't touch your heart to know that, again, and I touch on this a lot, those of us that grew up watching wrestling in the 80s and 90s, he was a fixture on TV. He was there. You watched him, the old NWA, WCW. He was there for all those kind of things. And you guys can correct me. Did he ever do WWF, Terry Funk?
Sure he did, yeah, several times in the 80s. But I mean, he had worked for the older Vince too. But he had a run in the 80s. He had a run in the 90s, and he came back as Chainsaw Charlie as well. But
he was teaming with Cactus Jack.
I remember. Okay, see, I remember that. I don't think I realized that was him.
Came out in Albany, New York. It was a big deal. There, out came Chainsaw Charlie. There at the probably the Pepsi Center at the time. But yeah, it was a big deal. But and so Terry, for health reasons, can't travel to New York. He very much wants to. I talk to him several times a week, which is just an unbelievable connection to have. But when we realized that it really wasn't going to come to fruition, decided to pull the trigger and get him his ring. Because with some of the others, there's a chance that we'll see Ric Flair in a couple months. There's a chance we'll see Hulk Hogan. But the likelihood of us getting Terry to come to New York was getting slimmer, and so we pulled the trigger. And it was a concept brought up by Bill Apter, who said, Manny just happened to have visited Terry. I wonder if we could do this. Got on the phone with Manny Fernandez. We worked this whole thing out. And again, the end of that story will be told in Albany when we show the video of the actual acceptance, and we hear the story firsthand from Manny. And that's sort of the main event of our dinner on Saturday night, which is going to be very classy. I can't tell you the video quality of what's being fed into this. A gentleman named Mac Davis, who just phenomenal work. Our award ceremony is going to be head and shoulders above any other similar entity. Let's just put it that way.
Can I nominate myself to drive a ring to Hogan?
Dude, you and me together.
I'll do it.
We'll go.
Every time I go down to Orlando, I go to his shop. He's never there. Every time I leave, he pops in.
Can we go?
Like, he's scared.
Can we go see DDP? You and me, we'll go. The three of us will go see DDP in New York City.
I will share with you though. Here's something that we did, and I won't show you the hardware right now. But for our inductees who were living, we got them a ring, very nice ring. You might have seen some of the pictures, but I haven't shown everything about it in the detail. But if there was someone who might be getting inducted but is deceased, and we could find a family member, we would get them a pendant that had the same
That's awesome.
insignia of the ring, but looks little, so that way they can wear that as a necklace and as a pendant. And so we've already delivered that to Charlie Fez, the wife of Lou Fez, probably the greatest, what we'll call a hooker. I've delivered it to Daryl Sammartino, son of Bruno Sammartino. And so these people will also be contributing some videos and some things back to the Hall of Fame. Anytime we could find someone, we did that. But again, we may be left without being able to award those rings to individuals now. But those are just fundraising opportunities in the future. So when we can bring in some of those names, boom, we'll throw another dinner. People come out for a small amount of money. We'll go have another fundraiser for the Hall. So it's not done. It's not done. We just have our business to do. We can't control whether someone's going to be there or not. We have our business, and our business.
I'll still drive to find him.
If you win, I know where to find Ric Flair. I do know where to find Ric Flair, and that's not even a joke. That's not even kidding. And I think I told you that story. Like I spent 6 or 8. Well, I spent 10 months, but out of that 10 months, 6 of them were in Atlanta, and the hotel that the employer that put me up in, Rick was at that hotel lounge every single night. And
busy man.
Well, that's my one of my only couple of pro wrestling stories is meeting Ric Flair. And I just retired from the Marine Corps, and I'm like, hey, can I get a picture? And he's like, I don't take pictures at the bar. And I'm like, I understand. Like, I get it. I just wanted to see if you would. I just retired out of the Marine Corps. He's like, you really just retired? I was like, Rick, I got my ID in my pocket. I'll show it to you. He's like, no, if you're legit, man. I was like, all right, cool. And he took a picture with me and was so cool about it. And I saw him every night after that and never paid me any mind. And I was okay with it because in my mind, Rick and I are best friends.
That's because you're not impressionable. You suck.
That just proved the fact that he is the nature boy and he's cooler than the other side of the pillow. I mean, come on. Let's be honest.
Well, we're going to have his manager there, James J. Dillon. We're going to have one of the men who beat him, your guy, Rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Hands of stone. Oh, Ronnie was just the best. Look, Ronnie's presentation to me was always, he was the blue collar, everybody guy. There was nothing about Ronnie that you looked at. Like he was a physical looking man, but there was nothing about him that didn't say that might have been the guy who just left a steel mill or just got done pouring concrete or something like that. And just got done and went to the bar and he kept popping off the mouth. And now he has to beat you up. And now he's going to beat you up with them hands. That's my meat.
Garvin stomp you.
The Garvin stomp. Like we talked about that. He ain't allowed to know what I found out.
And then, by the way, arriving for the dinner only is our very own Tito Santana. So again, you got to be at the dinner to be there with Tito.
He immortalized in animation. Tito Martinez. He was part of the animated series, if I remember right, back in the 80s.
Of course, he was. He was the Intercontinental Champion. But he did so much more than that, too. I mean, he actually came up out of Texas originally, played for West Texas State, which is where Terry Funk had played, which is where Manny Fernandez had played. So those guys are now talking that they want a whole wing in the Hall of Fame just for the West Texas State boys. I never heard that before, but they're throwing it out there. And I said, you start looking who they had.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thing right there is how many of these college athletes this has always kind of been a thing, or they watch this, or they grew up watching it, and they end up into that arena. The people's champion was a college football player.
University of Miami.
He played for the U. This was always kind of one of those things that was out there, and these happen and these happening. I just find it so fascinating. And the opportunity, folks, look, if you're in the Albany area, if you're within hearing distance, there are planes that still fly to Albany. There are still boats that get to Albany. There are still roads that are open to Albany. You need to get here before Henry, or whatever they're calling it, wipes Albany off the map, or whatever it is they think is going to happen, because it's just another apocalypse for us, because that's what we do here in Albany. Whatever it happens to be, you need to bring yourself here the next weekend, starting on Friday. You go to the Dome, you watch some amazing wrestling, you have a great time. You go to Hot Dog Charlie's, you get a bellyache, then you go on over to the Desmond and you get yourself a room and you get yourself ready for that day. So you can get yourself situated. You can meet this convention, meet all these pro wrestlers, meet all these people, maybe meet me if you're lucky, if I give you that opportunity, if I afford you that opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with me. I'll talk to anybody. I don't give a shit. You have that. And then we have the Hall of Fame induction. Is there still tickets for induction night?
For the induction? Yeah, those are limited though, not many. I mean, you have to get the VIP package in order to get that. So that you got to purchase for the whole weekend event in order to go to the dinner at this point. Because we're saturated. But for somebody who just wants to maybe take the kids out for something to do on Saturday afternoon from 11 to 3, but I'd get there before 2. You could stop by. Kids under 12 are free to go to the convention, which is, some people call it a meet and greet. I refer to it as a convention because we're elevating this to a different level. Right. Okay, we're going to take this out of being, something. We're showing people how they can do it. So children under 12 are free. People who are otherwise, you pay $25 donation. You get one commemorative 8x10, which is a group shot of everybody who's there. You get one free autograph. You get one free raffle ticket. Now, if you want to go get other photographs, you can do that. If you want to, maybe there's some vendor selling a book, you can do that too. So you want to get that Sonny autograph picture, you can do that. So those opportunities there. You want to buy the whole set? Will be unlimited for $100, and you can go. Buy it. Yeah, but it's autographs as available, because we're gonna take care of our talent as well. Meaning, we're not saying that you can get a photograph. You have to ask them. It's a COVID era. We're not going to force anybody to do anything. Okay, and keep your hands to yourself. We don't want any of those grubby, pictures that come out of these events where someone's like manhandling a beautiful lady. No, we're not doing any of that business. But again, there will be other vendors selling, historic programs and posters, and just people selling their books, like Dave Dwinell, like you were speaking about, or Bill Apter will be selling his books, and James J. Dillon has several books. So that's what's going on during the day. That's reasonable for, if you want to just stop in, spend a little bit of time, see what these things are like. But we're doing it in a model that makes it very user-friendly. It's all a donation to the Hall of Fame. Of course, unless you go and you want to negotiate a deal with one of the talent there. That's your business. So
I am a talent.
Very, very reasonable. Good time. Again, we'll have podcasts going on live in there, and different people work in the crowd. So who knows what that'll turn into. So that's for the people who just want to stop by. But for the serious enthusiasts, come to the dinner. But we also have, starting at 2 p.m., panel discussions. And 2 p.m. are historians who will be talking just about pro wrestling circa 1930. So they'll be talking about your Farmer Burns, your Frank Gotch, Paul Pond,
Abe Lincoln.
Really the historic pro wrestlers. Then we will be doing 2 panel discussions of comprised of the talent that are there. But the intent is to talk about our inductees, and we'll capture on video so we can use it in our museum, stories and comments about the inductees for the Hall of Fame. So that just enhances what then happens that night, which is the awards ceremony being emceed and hosted by Bill Apter and James J. Dillon. And again, that's where we will do the formal inductions. Real classy event that's going to be going on.
Now, let me explain to people, if you've never done a panel and if you've never done a convention, this is me telling you, as someone who's done many conventions, sat in many panels, done these things. I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts. First off, wear deodorant. That is the most important thing I can tell you. Please take a moment. Even if you think you put it on that morning, go back and put it. You're going to get
Do
nervous.
it
These
again.
are people you've watched on TV. These are people that are important in your childhood or in your life. Take a moment, put deodorant on. That's important. The next thing, take a moment, buy a bottle of water. It is going to be tough standing in those lines to get to these folks. You're going to get cotton mouth. You're going to get nervous. Have a bottle of water ready just so you can take a sip.
Yeah.
All that hand sanitizer that you've been stacking, bring some with you. Let them see you put hand sanitizer on because there is a real thing called convention crud. Long before COVID ever existed, I am a comic book guy. I go to a lot of comic book conventions. Most of those folks will look at you and see your hand and go, "Nice to meet you," because they don't want to shake 3,000 hands in a day. You will create a virus. You think Wuhan was bad. We'll create some shit and nobody wants it. So do yourself and do them, and they will respect the daylights out of you if you do it. The other thing, don't be a dick. Don't stand 10 feet off from the talent and take a picture because you don't want to give them 10 or $15 to stand there with them and take a picture. There's guys like me who get paid to stand there and block you from that picture. That is something that I used to do. And I will look at you like you owe me money when it's all over. Trust me, after 20 years in the Marine Corps, I'm a dickhead. I will make sure that you don't get that.
You just said don't be a dick. Oh, I'm so confused.
So those are the do's and don'ts. I like do's and don'ts because some of us have never been. This is going to be such a unique event and such an opportunity to meet such legends. I want everyone to know that, like, you don't want to be that guy that when they walk away, like, oh, this guy, like, does he not understand? So trust my do's and don'ts. Have faith in my do's and don'ts. And if you meet me, hold on, Seth, do they get to meet me?
No.
It's on you, brother. It's on you.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. You have to see.
I got enough to worry about with myself. That's all
I don't know. Seth, do they get to meet me? Let's see. We'll have to talk about that because I'm the other talent.
So by the way, the convention will work. I mean, we really thought this through. It's so simple. When you show up and you make your donation, we hand you the picture that you go get autographed. That's your ticket. There you go. Yeah. You don't need another ticket. Go get an autograph. Have a good time. Go see what's going on around here. Oh, and then, but you know what, Sean? One other thing I had seen happen at conventions was someone would take advantage and go up with a stack of things to get autographed. It might be magazine program. So anyway, we worked this out that you're going to pay $10 per autograph. You get a ticket from us. And if you don't have that ticket, they're not autographing it. So if you've got your stack of action figures you want autographed, that's fine. $10 per autograph. Then we'll make sure that talent is taken care of, because one talent might be smart enough to stay on top of it. The other one gets taken advantage of because they're just moving along. No, but this is how they make their livelihood, and this is also how we make our fundraiser. This is, and it's a service to the people who come. So that's how the whole thing works. Everybody walks away happy.
Fox, are you still good, or do you need to go fuel up?
I can be for a couple more minutes if you want to.
I don't want
to talk more about some stuff.
I mean, is it leg day? Leg day.
Yeah.
Wait, baby.
No, but seriously, last week Fox did come through because, again, we got surprised when a pro wrestling show was announced as being canceled. Unfortunately, there were some talent that were signed up to wrestle on that event that took bookings elsewhere or that we couldn't secure. So we do apologize for any difficulties caused by that, but was beyond us because within a day we turned it around. We lined up some really great talent to come in, and John Maltese from New York Championship Wrestling worked around the clock, nonstop for 2 or 3 days to keep things. There's a lot of paperwork and bureaucracy that has to happen.
I couldn't imagine.
So
I was at a New York Championship Wrestling event when my phone went off with the poster that said canceled, and I literally looked at it and I walked across the arena to him. I said, Johnny, this is canceled. Let me get this shit going. Showed him, and then that's when I messaged your partner on Instagram right there, and he's put me through to you. I called the mayor's office on Monday to see what we could do, and then Johnny took over. I went out of my way. I did this, that, and did what I can so we can make this happen and start the weekend for the first inaugural weekend of badass wrestling stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, that I got an email from John Maltese about 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, the 14th of August. That said, I think we can still do a show. Now, by that point, I didn't know that it was possible because we found out around 12:30 p.m. That the show was canceled. So I was dealing with a number of phone calls and things falling through. Now, the part that where John and I then had to work. Now, this is somebody I'd never even met before, didn't know him, and all of a sudden he's saying we can do something, and you have to understand, for every person we were able to sign to wrestle, you maybe had 10 phone calls out there, or so it's this crazy network that you have to work through for those couple of days. So we knew that we were going to be able to do a show, but we couldn't say who it was, how it was going to work. I mean, we were doing in 2 or 3 days the work that should have taken place over 3 months. But we did it, man. And I'm telling you, I am pumped for that live wrestling show. And I hope it goes well. My fingers are crossed. I know it's going to be a fun time.
I know the buzz is buzzing. People asking me, messaging me. Once I posted it, people started messaging. How can I get tickets? Where can I get this? Where can that? I printed up a bunch of flyers that I've been posting around. We got guys who've been posting it all over the Capitol. For work, I'm driving a truck into Vermont, 40 minutes away, where we have Myers Automotive sponsored. They're just one of the people that just see me every day bringing them tires. I said, hey, man, do you sponsor stuff? Took out his wallet. Here you go.
Awesome.
I was like, I'm only asking you because you gave me $50 for Christmas, and it seems like you like me a little bit, buddy. And his name is Joe Myers, and the dude is, I'm assuming he's in his 30s, has a wife, kid. I said, bring them down, have a good time. Your name's on the flyer. It's on the banners. You helped make this happen within the week that we went to work and getting everybody going. So
do you need me to be your manager? Let me ask that question, Fox.
No, you
I know nothing.
I'm ignorant
from all of it.
Wait, wrestling manager or manager in life? They're two different things.
Well, wrestling man, I don't want to manage your finances. You need someone smart like Seth for that. Like, look at him. Look how clean cut and smart he looks.
Looks can be deceiving. I'm glad that's what you think, because, brother, when I hear Fox talking about Waterville, and you guys know this, I am from Mechanicville. I am Red Raider. I've shared this. I've done battle against the Cannoneers so many times.
My kids are going to be Bisons.
Let me tell you something about being at a Waterville Dome.
Boy. That's why I'm going to make sure everyone that walks me to the ring, I hope there's a shitload of people, and we're all going to turn, and they're going to be like, remember when we won 3 states that year?
I told him that.
It's on the flyers everywhere. What do you mean told me? It's in the city.
1991. I was on the teams that didn't win as Waterville Elite won football, baseball, and basketball state championship.
And I was 6.
I had to play him twice a year. Oh, let's go.
That's rough. My daughter won a state championship with Troy. Now Troy's the one to beat. Now it's all about Troy. We're off into another whole subject, folks. Like I have old co-workers that their kids are playing for Syracuse, and they're between their kids and my daughter. That was back. Now it's all about Troy. Between Troy and Shaker, you better have your shit together. They are ridiculous.
Well, they're invited to come watch wrestling because if after
that's where they're living at. Look at that. Hold it up. Get it a little closer there, Seth. Bring it in. Now, who did the flyer? You mentioned this. Who did the flyer?
Okay. So it's a great. It could be a book at this point, honestly. So want to give Roger McDonald is the artist who did the cover work. Okay, he's out of St. Louis. The program was compiled by Bradley Craig, who is out of Scotland. He runs the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Scotland. And so he has contributing writers that are the best of the best in the business. Great. So a guy in Scotland put this together with a guy in St. Louis doing the cover art, sends it to a guy in Long Island who does the printing, contributors from all over the place get this thing put together, printed, and then you might have seen I took it and was able to get it into the hands of some pretty cool people. And every one of them were like, this is awesome.
Now, this is available to the public. Right. Who are these? How do you get one of those books?
Limited available to the public. Very, very limited. Again, we printed 500. We need 100 for our event. We've maybe sold about 50 and sent them out to people as well. Inductees, we would throw these in the box. For a very small number of people, I actually got very Funk to autograph few that will be very, very special. Those are. But yeah, we'll have some at the show. Again, limited. I'll start now counting out how much do we need for Saturday, how much do we need for Friday. But when those 500 go, that's it. But they've been literally critically acclaimed. I don't know if you saw, there was a great video because what had happened was the Rock and Roll Express. I met them last week, and I handed them the program, and I had to go hustle. I forgot some things in my car. And I came back about 25 minutes later, and Ricky Morton just grabbed me, and he said, "Seth, this is just." He said, "This is just great." And then he started telling about Danny Hodge, and he's telling great stories about Danny Hodge. So that's what, everyone who is seeing this program. Yes, it's a program, but it's of the inductees of the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So it is one of the greatest historical documents ever put together on the history of pro wrestling,
and it's the first one.
So
that's
right. I mean,
anyway.
And when you hold it, it's a heavy bond of paper. It's thick. It's it cost us a good chunk of money to put together. So and then what you do. So
give me the dates, times, and everything for Friday one more time.
So we start with live pro wrestling. Bell time is at 7:00. Are they doing meet and greet before that?
They usually do doors around like 5:36. That way people can get in, settle, find where you need to be, come over to my table, buy some T-shirts, maybe my band CD, buy some stuff, meet some of the guys sitting around. And if people are around, definitely meet and greet them. And then
yeah, I think we're going to be doing a meet and greet there. I apologize. I got to get back with John so we can get that, so that I can say that with certainty. Because they usually do, as you said, 5:30.
Yeah, us wrestlers, we're always walking around, and if people want to come up and get something signed, you get it. $5.
7:00 wrestling. And I think we go back to the hotel for those who have the VIP tickets, or if you want to talk to me individually about seeing Bill after. Who, for those who don't,
that's exciting. The Bill Abner. Talk about the Bill Abner for a second. I don't think people understand who Bill is, what Bill is about, and it's a name that even if you don't know who Bill is, he's got a familiar ring to the sound of his name. He's just got one of those kind of names.
You may know his work, but you might not know what he does.
Right, exactly.
Talk about Bill.
You did not walk by any magazine or newsstand from the 70s, 80s, 90s was filled with his work. So he's the guy who took the pictures, wrote the articles, and he works for Pro Wrestling Illustrated or all the, any pro wrestling magazine. So he started in the 60s, but he was a photographer and writer and worked. They are referred to as aftermags. Any of those magazines from the 70s or 80s but he's a one-man show himself. So what's great is Bill Apter is so loved and revered by all the pro wrestlers because he's the guy who made them look good. He was the one who chose which pictures made the magazines, which articles got written. So it's that symbiotic relationship that you have to have. It's not enough for what the guy in the ring is doing. He needs all the support of everyone else who's part of the whole project. So Bill is going to be doing just an awesome, a one-man show. And what's great, again, is all the wrestlers will want to see what Bill has to do. So, Saturday the 28th at 10 a.m. VIP access only for the convention. 11 a.m. is general admission. And then once we sell out, we sell out. So we're going to run 300 people. We'll see what happens from there.
Now, if I buy VIP, does that just, this is for my own essay so people understand. If I buy VIP, because there's still some VIP left, and that costs me how much?
That's $200 for VIP access, and that gets you everything except for the live wrestling event, because that's run separately. So that's $25 for the tickets for the live wrestling. That's got to be separate because they're under their own insurance and it's its own separate.
Listen, you cheap bitches. If you spent $200 for VIP, don't be a cheap fucking not spend $25 on some live wrestling. You've already spent the money. Stop being cheap.
Come see me. We'll get you a ticket to it. Come on, you got to go. You got to see. That's what it's all about.
Don't be cheap. Sorry,
so now, by the way, and now as we turn the corner with 1 week to go, what we need is the next 3 and 4 days of a full media blitz of promo. Okay, people, even if we would have been advertising it 3 months ago, it doesn't matter. People, they're only thinking what's in the immediate future. So we need to let them know that we got this happening Friday and we got this happening on Saturday, and then it'll be in the front of their mindset. And then once they go, they're gonna love it.
All right, I'm gonna make a deal with you, Seth. If you can get me to talk to Heather Kovar from Channel 6 News, I will tell her everything. But you got to get me to talk to Heather Kovar. I'll get her into everything. But I need to talk to Heather Kovar. My wife knows that's a whole thing.
Okay.
That's a whole thing. Channel 6 in Albany, Heather Kovar. I've met her one time and I was like, hi, I'm a jackass. That was my old job. She's very great. I accept the fact my wife knows the deal. So we've got all this going on. We got live wrestling. We got all these people. My biggest thing, though, is, as all this is, let's talk about, so the 27th, 28th, 29th. Seth, August 30th. What happens August 30th? What are you going to do? That's a real question. Like, the 27th, 28th, 29th, you've been a madman for over a year.
I'm sure the work will still be continuing that day. Someone will want to complain about something or tell me about this, or they have all these ideas of what you could have done. Or I don't know. What I heard was that when you're doing something like this in show business, the only calm is during the show itself. So everything, it's work. Then boom, it's showtime, and that's the only time there's going to be calm.
True.
And
can we talk about maybe we're getting closer to a building to put this stuff in? Can we talk about that?
I'm
kind of putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Mike Lanuto, our vice president, and I have had some pretty heavy conversations regarding our not with each other, but with some individuals. I'd like to say that we'll announce something at the dinner. That may be a bit premature. So let me just say, though, that is the ultimate focus. The ultimate goal is to have a facility. So all the rest of this are just steps to obtain that facility. So that's the goal. It is a bit preliminary for me to say something, so we don't have it in hand yet. We've had some great discussions. I don't have a contract, so that's how I'll put it. And if we pull off what we're looking to do, though, it would be quite significant.
Well, I want you to know, I need somewhere close to Albany, so that when my kid's permission slip shows up, it's to go to the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, or I need to go to a PTA meeting and be like, look, it's great to go pick pumpkins. It's okay to go get a bag of apples. But can we take my kid to something athletic, something of physical nature, something that my kid's going to go, well, shit, Dad, that's what we watch together. How can we hold on, that's what I need. That's what I need right now.
Something for people who are intelligent and good looking. Am I right on this?
Hold on. Intelligent and good looking. Look at this. This is a future pro wrestler. For those of you not watching the live, I got my son Dylan. The reason I had to bring him on is we cut like 10 inches of hair off of his head today, so I had to put him on camera. His hair was down past the middle of his back. Would you go to a professional wrestling Hall of Fame? Would you be interested in that?
Yeah.
How old are you?
11.
It's such freaking excitement right now, isn't
Got to
it?
do it for Dylan.
Do it, folks. If you're out there right now and you're thinking about it, do it for Dylan. Look at him. For those of you who don't see it, look at him. He's just an orphan child. Just needs you to show him some love and some affection. No one else does.
All he wants is a Hall of Fame for professional wrestling. Is that too
all
much?
he wants is a Hall of Fame? He wants to know where Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, Terry Funk, the Polish powerhouse, Hula Monsoon. He wants to know where these people came from. He wants to know where these names happened at. He wants to understand what this came from. You can make this happen. Donate. Oh, wait a second. That's a whole nother thing. Donate today. That's a whole nother thing.
You can donate by going to the wrestling and watching wrestling.
That's it. Yeah, go to the events. We're not asking for something for nothing. Go and watch live professional wrestling. Go and come out and get some autographs and meet and photos and freaking live. Too many people just sit inside their house and say, "Well, how did that happen? How did you meet that person?" It doesn't happen sitting on your couch. I promise you that. You got to get up and go do something. How did I get involved? I once went to a pro wrestling Hall of Fame. I got to meet some people that led to meeting other people.
You didn't meet some people. Hold on, Seth. Don't blow that shit off. Who did you meet, Seth?
No. Well, it eventually led to Rocky Johnson, my good friend, the Soul Man. God rest his soul, Rocky Johnson. And fly down to Florida and visit him there. And he'd come up here and visit. And he was on our board of directors. Again, passed away about a month after we kicked off. But yeah, man. And so just think of what those opportunities are. As you were pointing out, Sean, that the people's champ, The Rock, he comes out of professional wrestling. So professional wrestling is a thread which runs all throughout our society. And so this is a great opportunity. Have a great time. Come out, see live pro wrestling. Come to our event. Come to the convention. Go to the dinner. Honor the legends, the guys who put and the ladies who put it on the line for you, so that we could cheer. And when you think about, you got Bushwhacker Luke. He's coming originally from New Zealand. Okay, Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. He's coming from the South now, but he's from Canada originally. So we've got people come. We got Manny Fernandez coming up from Texas. We got again contributors to our program from Europe, from Asia, from all over the world. It truly is the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Get your program, by the way.
All right, Seth, I'm going to put you on the spot, Seth. I'm going to put you on the spot. Can I get a picture with Ronnie Garvin?
That's up to Ronnie Garvin. I told you the picture. I'm sure it'll happen.
Can Ronnie Garvin get a picture with you?
Well, I'm sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll make it happen.
Like, Ronnie Garvin is just one of those ones. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
The answer is yes. You'll be able to get your picture with Ronnie Garvin. Let's get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. I need even better. Look, I'll end my podcast and never podcast again if I could interview Ronnie Garvin. But that's a whole nother thing in and of itself, folks. And
that's where you just got to bring your stuff.
You're stuck with me, folks. This is how this is going to happen. You're going to get podcasts from me every week, and we're going to keep doing this. And as long as Seth is doing his thing, as long as Fox is doing his thing, we're going to keep doing this. This is one of those things, folks, that doesn't come around every day. And look, if for those of you that come back and you're listening to this, and it sounds like a effing infomercial, look, it's not. It's passion. We all care about what this is. For those of you watching the live video, I've got my International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame shirt on. I was kind of hoping Seth was going to wear his Above the Bar podcast shirt. Did you get one, bud? But
I don't know. I don't think I did.
oh,
I
boy,
definitely used mine to clean my cat's puke up, but I did get one.
Maybe I don't know if I did.
it'd be cool if you were like did a Hulk Hogan and just ripped that one off and underneath of it there was. But understand, folks, this is if it sounds like that to you, I'm going to apologize personally because I don't want it to sound that way, but I will tell you this is what passion sounds like. This is what people who cares sounds like. This is what we as I can't tell you how many wrestling events as a kid I went to. How many times I can remember seeing Sting as a kid coming out of the rafters. That was the most amazing thing. I've seen doggone God, what were they called? Where they used to push them back in the ring, the lumberjack matches. I've seen lumberjack matches. I've seen battle royals. I've gone to WWE events. I will tell you, I probably saw more WCW NWA events because they fit me. They were me. Growing up in Baltimore at the Baltimore Arena or the Capitol Center, God, I couldn't even tell you which one. There's a funny story I will tell to these gentlemen afterwards. I got to figure out how to do an after-hour show, but I'll tell you guys a funny story afterwards. But if you love this stuff, if you're into this stuff, is there, you know what? Now, out of curiosity, that this just came to mind to me, is there a way for me to log on and just watch a streaming version of this?
Uh, I don't think we're going to do that. We do have the capability to do it, but we just don't want to have those moving pieces, and we'd rather capture it, repackage it, and maybe put it out for people after. So we don't want to do a live stream. As you know, when you're doing a live event, sometimes things can be said, and when you're broadcasting it, internationally, you can't get that back, and so we'd rather make sure we have the ability to control what gets put out publicly. Okay, is that yes?
I edit nothing.
And beyond that, again, there's so many moving pieces. But Sean, you brought something up about the passion, and I want to highlight this. If it does sound like an infomercial, none of us are getting paid for this, except Foxx getting paid to be a wrestler because he's a pro wrestler. He's not a pro if he doesn't get paid. But what we're doing for the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, 100% volunteer, which is 100% fundraisers. No one is making one dime off of it. In fact, we're all spending a hell of a lot of money and a hell of a lot of time and energy. And our families and my poor wife, who deserves a statue to be built because of what she's put up with. So, it's all volunteer work. This is done just to try to give kids of all ages those opportunities to interact with their heroes, their legends, the people who they otherwise only see on TV, and they don't realize it's as simple as go out and meet them. They're real human beings, and then you get to know them at a whole other level, and that's where the real show is.
And then the live event on Friday is for, let's throw this example out. There's people that I graduated from Watervliet with who now have children of their own.
Hold on, say that again. You graduated?
Yeah, with low honors. So they can bring their children. Maybe they've never been to the Pepsi or the Knickerbocker, whatever, to see like the big stuff yet. Here's how they break him in. Hey, come see this guy. I actually went to school with him. He wrestled me in school, or blah, blah, blah. Now that's a family thing. It's a memory they're creating. And even one of my buddies who just bought tickets for him and his son is probably, 8 years old. He was going to walk down and smack anyone's face if they try to mess with me as I walk down to the ring to win my championship title.
Awesome.
Let him know.
I love it. I love every bit of it.
Me too.
This is, folks. We're gonna get ready to put a bow on it. I know Foxx is gonna be upset with me. He's supposed to be watching SummerSlam right now. doing squats, eating pizza, getting ready to bulk up.
I gotta film some stuff. I have to
He's got to
call out
I
my
don't even know what
champion.
that
I
stuff
gotta
is.
do this. I gotta do this.
Listen, I got airlines coming in. I got the Rock and Roll Express flying in. I've got Bushwhacker Luke coming up here. I got Manny Fernandez coming. I've got Sonny coming in. Trying to coordinate all this. I got Virgil coming in. I've got Irish Davey O'Hannon. I mean, I've got hotels that need to be double checked. Who's in which room? Who's sleeping head to toe on the couch?
Do I need anyone in my basement? Like, because we're at the bar right now at the house. Does anyone need space at the house?
Possible.
Let me know, Seth, right now. Does anyone need anyone?
Very possible.
Let me know. We just got from YouTube. We got Michelle Dab. Can't wait for this Friday's. And I don't even know. She's dabbing it up. Dab it.
I think
Awesome, Michelle.
That's what kids do.
I don't
Here we go. Champions do.
Let me tell you, by the way, going to see the independent wrestling is, for me, almost more enjoyable than going to see one of the larger shows, because I always love it when you see someone who you know has got talent, they're up and coming. I'm going to tell you, I just saw an independent show, and you can pick out 2 or 3 people who are ready. You know when they're ready, and you have to do that time. There's no shortcuts to it. So,
and you get the pleasure of seeing me do what I do live. And
that's it. But what a great name, New York Championship Wrestling, to support the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I mean, you can't.
Now that I will let you know, as many big shows as I've been to, and I love wrestling, and I've told this story before. I met John Batista. There is not a human that's ever made me feel like, son of a bitch, you're a big bastard. Like,
Dave Batista, I think.
Or
right?
Dave Batista, excuse me, not John Batista.
We're here to help you. You don't know shit.
Let me go ahead and show you this bourbon I'm drinking right now.
Keep drinking. We'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, he is 6'5",
look, I can't hang.
360.
Look, that's a whole nother thing. Have you ever watched the documentary on Ric Flair and the drinking thing? I can't hang. I cannot hang. Michelle said, I'm one of Fox's students, so can't wait to see him win the title. You must know who this person is, Michelle Dab.
Yeah,
Fox.
she's coming down to kill the game. She's going to become a professional wrestler. We're teaching students. Hey, if you want to be a professional wrestler, come up to. We have a spot in Hudson Falls. We got a huge ring facility. We got professionals coming in and out, working on what they're, just getting better. We have.
Now, where can, if they wanted to sign up for something like that, how do they sign up for it, Fox?
You can message me. You can look up Standing 8 Entertainment. It's a whole big thing we got going on. It's Wrestlers Wrestling.
Wrestlers Wrestling, or at Foxx Vinyer, and that's 2 X's on Fox, Vinyer. Make sure you check him out. If this is something that you have a passion about, this is something you're interested, because who knows?
Exactly.
Seth and I, we're seniors at that point. We're well into our 60s. We're still podcasting. We're still talking, and we're at the 20th anniversary of the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame inductions. And who knows, you could be inducting us into this. Because I figure if I stay close enough, I'll get into some shit.
Sean, you would ask what I'll be doing. It's funny because I think mid-September our ballot process starts up for the next year. So, we maybe get about 2 weeks after this event, and then we start it back up for the following year.
That's a question. And God, I can sit here all day. What is like pro baseball, or not pro baseball, but pro football is 5 years out, and then you can be inducted. What is it? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is you have to have so many albums. What is the parameters to be inducted?
The ballot process for us is actually extremely difficult. It starts off with 5 individuals, one from Europe, one from Asia, one from Canada, and 2 from the U.S. All 5 have to agree on creating a ballot. So that 5 people have to come to consensus just on a list of, let's say, maybe 30 different wrestlers, or it could be larger. Okay, but they've got to come to consensus. That ballot is then sent out to approximately 50 other individuals who cast their limited votes. Then it comes back, and we comprise the results from that. So it's a 2-step process. and then it gets brought to the board of directors who approves what was brought to us by the ballot committee. Ballot committee is completely separate, though, from the board of trustees. The people come and say, can I get in the Hall of Fame? And it's through this established process. So then that's what makes our job difficult, though, but also makes it more pure. So in late November, they give us our marching orders and say, here's the list of who's going in. You know, my job would be much easier if I could just say, oh, let's go book a wrestler next year and we're going to give them a ring. That's not how it works. We get told, here's who made the cut. And
there you go.
All right. Go. Here's the plan. Completely based on this bourbon I'm drinking. You ready, Seth?
Yep.
You give Foxx and I who the inductees are. We do an entire show on traveling in my RV around the country and into Canada to go see these people, to hand them their ballots as inductees into the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And we make it happen. What do you think?
Well, listen, stranger things have happened because, like, you know, again, what we just saw happen for Terry Funk with Manny Fernandez, I mean, it's just unreal. I never would have thought we'd be able to pull something off like that, but we did it. When I was able to get some video of Ric Flair and use that to help enhance what we're doing, we've done it. So, you know, we're pulling out all the stops, brother, you know?
I like it. So we're going to get ready to put a bow on this thing right now. All right, folks. So we've got this coming up on the 27th. We have the wrestling match with Foxx going for a title bout. We got a bunch of other folks. We got, as Seth said, some folks that may end up showing up that day. We'll see who's on there. Sonny, look, if you're in the Albany area, anybody from the 90s, if you don't take a moment to go meet Sonny, I don't even understand that whatsoever. So go take a moment, go meet Sonny. Legend. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Seth, if you and I get the chance to meet on Friday, if you don't introduce me to Sonny, we can't be friends. We just can't be. We just can't be. I'll delete Mike Latuna from my friend's Facebook. On top of that,
by the way, you had to. Let me just share. I want you to understand. I was booking Sonny, and my wife walks by and says, "Is that who you're talking to?"
Couch now.
I said, honey, I think you'll have to help volunteer and work with her. Who else could do the job?
Like I might have to bring my own wife in for that one. On top of that, then we have Saturday. We have the meeting or the convention on Saturday. We have Saturday night. 200 bills, bro. Look, folks, for $200, you won't meet your friends. You won't.
$200, you get the after hours party Friday night. You get the convention with early access. You get the panel discussions going on in the afternoon. You get the dinner with the award ceremony, and then Sunday you get breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions on Sunday.
So you're
less than $20 an event. That's like
you're getting into a whole ton of events and
so you've got that on top of it, you know. And what this means to you is that you get to meet your childhood legends, people that meant something in your childhood, people that you sat with your friends and discussed as kids and said, did you see, did you know, did you find, did you see, and turn around and say, now as an adult, I know that person. I've met that person. They're a human. They're just like you and me. They have problems. They have bills. They have life. They're just like you and me. We have all this going. And on top of that, my man, I won't say his because I know his real name. You can go see Foxx.
That's me.
Go win a belt. Go put some gold around his waist. Seth and I will finally, and more important, you might actually get to see Seth and I physically meet. You might get a chance to see Foxx and I physically meet.
I'm bringing my advisor, Bushwhacker Luke, with me. Okay, when I need some of the greatest brains in the business, I'm going with Bushwhacker Luke. That's who you'll see me.
Look, we're going to go ahead and pump it up. When I was a kid, you pumped it up with Luke. It was all about it. Gentlemen, like this is just one of those kind of things that, you know, all of us, There's so much. So Friday night, it's going to be with the New York Championship Wrestling. Take a look, follow, get all those things. Foxx Vinyer, any of your social media, anything you got out there. If you look up Fox with two X's, Vinyer, Instagram, Facebook, any of those type of things, you'll find
Amazon Prime, Modern Love, Season 2, Episode 4. You see me in the background a few times.
Look at it. You got something else. That's a whole nother thing. Don't you have like something where they want you on like some other show coming up? Are you on the HBO show?
All right, guys, I gotta go book some.
Right, I gotta get because I got to talk to Seth. I got to talk to Seth. I got to talk to him. We have International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. We got Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.org. Anything and everything. Seth, or let's go with it this way. Fox, what's your final words, brother?
See you Friday as you all join me as we walk down to win this championship together.
Seth, you get the final word, brother.
Above the Bar podcast became an instrumental part in the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame induction weekend. Who would have known that a couple weeks ago when we met here that Fox would end up being the man to save the live wrestling show, which just enhances what we're doing for our entire induction weekend. Everybody come on out, check us out, prowrestlinghall.org. It's going to be a great time, all volunteer work. No one is making money. This is all just to have a great time for folks and to honor the legends of professional wrestling. So come on out.
All right, gents, give me 2 minutes of your time after this. All right, folks, be sure to push
yourselves.
That bourbon got to me. Be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.